So, should we make some cakes? Let's make a cake. So I use my Nana's recipe. It's one that you can just keep on going. So Nana taught it to me in that it's 4-4-2. So 4-4-4-2. So 4 ounces of self-raising flour, 4 ounces of butter, 4 ounces of caster sugar, and 2 eggs. So I've translated that into what is, terms now. So that's 100 of butter or stork, 100 of caster sugar, 100 of self-raising flour, and 2 eggs. So we just multiply that up. So we're going to multiply it by 6 today, just to make enough cakes for everybody. So that will be, I find that with making cakes, you need to be a lot more precise than I would say be with like making bread or anything like that. Just purely because there's an element of science behind cakes in terms of what you're going to use and what you're going to make. My Nana always used stork. My mum always used stork. So I use stork. I probably shouldn't say stork because that's like a brand name, but that's what I use. There are other brands available in all major supermarkets. Dead on. So what we've got, just to recap, is our 300 grams of caster sugar and our 300 grams of stork or any other major brand name margarine. And then we're going to just start mixing that together. So my Nana told me that making cakes is all about, getting the air in it, making it nice and fluffy. I'm just going to scrape down the insides of the bowl and make sure that we've got enough. And what you're looking for is actually it to go with sort of lighter, fluffier colour. And I shall show you light and fluffy when it's done. So we're just getting our 300 grams of self-raising flour. I like having like a little sort of weighing station in the kitchen. So it just keeps everything together instead of like carting everything across to the other side. So I like to have like my workstation, which is here. And then everything, as you can see, I've got all my tools and my bits and pieces around. So as you can see, I don't know whether you can see that, but it's going all nice and fluffy. And you can see that all of the sugar has been entirely incorporated into the butter. So we're just going to pop that back on. Now, flavourings. Today I'm going to do, so I can use this as a base for so many different cakes, but today we're going to just do sort of vanilla cupcakes, I think. So just about a couple of teaspoons of vanilla paste. So, eggs. We just use our own eggs from the farm here. The chickens, do you know, it's been a joy for the chickens this week because chicken lockdown has finally stopped. So just as they've released Scotland from all the COVID regulations, the chickens are now released as well. So the chickens can now get out and about instead of being locked in their polytunnels. I always crack eggs into a jug instead of straight in, because then if you get a wee bit of shell, it's easier to get out. Chickens were on lockdown because of avian flu. So about 9 months ago, bird flu hit the UK. And bird flu is one of those things where if a chicken house or housing gets it, then quite literally, that's it. All the chickens have to be culled. When we start putting everything in and when we put the flour in, so flour has a raising cupcakes. No, a raising agent in it. So that raising agent actually starts to work when it hits liquid. So the next bit we need to do is just to keep it all moving like a little bit more quickly. So this is when I start to get all my stuff sort of prepped out. So, cupcake cases. I love these little ones that you get. They just stand automatically, so you don't need to worry too much about getting cupcake trays and all of that sort of gubbins out. So what we're going to do is in on top, the oven, by the way, is the bottom oven here is heated to 160 degrees. 160 degrees is a great wee temperature for baking your cakes because they won't brown too fast on top. She says, but I bet you they do. So in with 1 egg into the mixture. So the eggs go in a bit at a time. Because otherwise what you're going to do is you're going to curdle your mixture. So my nana taught me you do part egg, part flour. A lot of the things that are on at telly at the minute and stuff say, okay, put in all your eggs and then fold in your flour or... But to be perfectly honest, I don't know which makes a difference. I've tried it all different sorts of ways and it works for me. So I suppose the whole thing is find out what works for you. So in with another egg. In with some flour. And I just keep alternating them till it's all in. And what I like to do at the last minute is just to make sure that we've got absolutely everything mixed in. Is just go around the sides. Make sure we don't miss any of the ingredients. Last of the flour. And what you're looking for consistency-wise is what people call dropping consistency. So that means everything's mixed in, nice and smooth, and it literally just drops off. So I'm just going to give it one last blast. Now we're ready to fill our cupcakes. So a lovely drop-in consistency, lovely smooth mixture. And all we're going to do is half fill each one of these cases. You may be tempted just to go and like put them in the oven and then follow up with these ones, but I wouldn't do it, because when you then go to open the oven to put the rest of them in, then they'll just drop. The temperature change will cause the cakes to drop, so I wouldn't do it. And there we go. So we've almost got 24. Almost. Just give my hands a quick wee wipe. We've got a fan assisted oven, so we don't need to worry too much about what shells we put in. But if I was using the Aga, you know, in my other kitchen, then I pop them in the middle shelf, and because there's not the fan assist pushing the heat around, I would probably have to turn them just to make sure that they get good colouring all over. So whilst we've just been taking a break there, the cakes are ready to come out the oven now. So lovely golden brown on top. We've had a wee bit of an explosion. But when you press the top of them, it's springing back nicely. So we just leave them to cool now. And then we'll ice them, I think, with some nice buttercream icing or something like that, ready for the guests. So these cakes, we had them in, they take around about 15 minutes at 160. These actually also freeze really, really well, especially in these wee cups. We're just going to package up our bread for the welcome hamper as well. So we loaf like this would do 2 people for the weekend, or for however long they're coming to stay. So we're just going to decorate up some of these. We've got a check-in for 2 people coming in today. So we're just going to do a couple of the cupcakes. So these have nicely cooled down. So just a quick little whiz of buttercream. There are a multitude of recipes out there, and there are sold also pretty great ones that you can get, you know, pre-bought in the shops as well. I love a bit of chocolate sprinkles, even though they're vanilla cupcakes. And we'll just get a bag to package them in. So we use these compostable bags. So every single piece of packaging that we use is fully compostable. We get them from a variety of different companies. So and then we just get the label to say that it has been made by my fair hand. And that's the bread and the cake ready for the welcome pack.